Vegas is the only place for me. Hey, how are you, lads? It's Shawnee from Irishluck. Today we're going to talk about every gambler's worst nightmare, the tax man. Now you probably know that taxes on gambling winnings are, well, they're different in every country. Now, I've been living here in the States for quite a while now, but now I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works back home in Ireland. Do you have to pay tax on gambling winnings in Ireland? The main tax law in Ireland states that gambling winnings are subject to a betting duty of 2%. However, not all forms of betting are taxed. It's a little complicated, but ultimately, a very small portion of gambling wagers is subject to taxation. Let's take a closer look at how gambling has evolved in Ireland over the years. The history of gambling in Ireland. Just like in Finland, Irish casinos are regulated by a state monopoly. Gambling has been legal in Ireland for over 100 years. But as with any other law, the regulations have changed over time. That's understandable. After 100 years, everything changes. Matter of fact, the first piece of gambling legislation was passed in 1954. It laid down the basis of rules for early betting houses and penalties for offenders. In 1956, the Gaming and Lottery Act was passed. This legislation aimed to increase casino gambling in Ireland little by little. Commercial casinos were banned, but private member clubs effectively acted as casinos. Lotteries were also legal. In 2013, the Gambling Control Bill arrived, which aimed to strengthen online and offline regulation in the gaming industry. In 2015, the Betting Act was amended to include all remote operators, regardless of where they were based. Operators must be licensed to accept bets and were responsible for taxation. The Gaming and Lotteries Act was passed in 2019, stating that promoting gambling without a license was illegal. Why is gambling taxed? Well, the simple answer is that gambling is taxed in most countries to discourage excessive gambling. It's very addictive and should only be practiced in moderation. An overview. Ireland's betting tax is a 2% flat rate. In other words, the government claims 2% of every single bet. By international standards, these requirements are extremely low. There are other favorable considerations too. Gambling is exempt from liability for VAT by the 1977 6th Directive, for instance. In Ireland, betting tax revenue has declined significantly over the years because the tax rate has been reduced over time. A timeline of betting taxation. Over the years, the gambling tax situation in Ireland has experienced several changes. Back in 1986, the tax on betting reached its peak at 20%. Previously, the tax was collected overtly from the customer. A €10 bet would cost €10 and 20 euro cent in the shop. By 2006, it was reduced to just 1% and not paid up front. As the digital age flourished, the law was adjusted in 2015 to include remote bookmakers and betting exchanges. In 2019, the tax was increased slightly to 2%. Today, a large part of government income is derived from gambling activities. Gambling companies are taxed 12% of their profits. The future of gambling in Ireland. The gambling industry in Ireland is only going to grow. Around 82% of gamblers use online casinos, and new licenses are being awarded all the time. It's an exciting time to be a gambling fan in Ireland. If you want to get into even more of the tax nitty-gritty, you can read our full page on irishluck.ie. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.